Hey, Eagle fans! Your Statesboro Walmart is your one-stop shop for all your Georgia Southern football and game day needs. Pick up your GSU sports gear here. We have t-shirts, hats, tote bags, koozies, stadium bleacher seats, car spirit flags, wall pennants, beads, and more right here at the best prices in town. Also, don't forget we can handle all of your tailgating needs with our great food trays, baked goods, and fresh, high-quality meat, seafood, and chicken.
Walmart. Save money. Live better. Walmart.
On this week's show, Georgia Southern basketball continues to try to vie for the top spot in the Sun Belt Conference, and also check in as the Georgia Southern baseball team opens up the season. All that and more as we welcome you inside the Eagles Nest. And welcome inside the Eagles Nest. I'm your host, Josh Aubrey, being joined by Mike Anthony, sports editor, Georgia Southern beat writer, prep writer, all that for the Statesboro Herald, at least for the end of basketball season. I know Mike's been working a lot of double times, late evenings, has hope on the horizon. But as for now, let's get into some Georgia Southern basketball and baseball, beginning with basketball, where the streak has come to a close. Into that 5-game home schedule on paper looks pretty good, but for the players, a lot of times, that's a lot of games to stay focused through. Maybe didn't quite have it all there. Got to overtime, lost to Louisiana Monroe this past Saturday. Looking to bounce back on Thursday. Mike, your thoughts on where Georgia Southern is?
Well, definitely a big hit there for Georgia Southern. We knew that no one was going to run away with this conference, but Georgia Southern was very close to at least getting a couple steps clear of the field. A win over Monroe would have put them 2 games up on everybody fighting for the top of the Sun Belt Conference. Instead, they're right back into the thick of things. It's going to be a battle down the stretch. We're now almost 2/3 of the way through the conference schedule, and it seems like it's shaking out. The cream's coming to the top. Georgia Southern, Georgia State, Louisiana Monroe, all of them are going to be there, I would say, until the final week of the season. So Georgia Southern, it was a great run while it lasted. Now it's time to start another one if they want to be there, get that double bye into New Orleans, and maybe start thinking about a possible national tournament appearance.
Yeah, it's real important. As we've mentioned this before, mention it again, the number 1 and number 2 seeds go all the way into the semifinals. The top 4 teams get a bye in the tournament period. So you want to definitely be in the top 4. It looks pretty good for Georgia Southern right now, but as you mentioned, want to try to get 1 or 2. Going a long way there would be a victory over Arkansas State Thursday. Let's get out and see how the Eagles did. A doubleheader Thursday night as the Eagles closed out their 5-game homestand with Arkansas State on the ladies' side. The visitors on top, the Eagles fighting back. Sierra Butler for 2. Next on the break, it's Angel McGowan. But again, here comes Arkansas State. Brittany Gill with the jumper and a 10-point lead. The Eagles cutting into that lead. McGowan, 2 more of her 18 on the night. More from McGowan. She cuts the lead to 5. McGowan then all alone for the cherry-picking bucket. Patrice Butler with a nice game as well. She'd finished with 18 points, including the long 2. But Arkansas State, too much. Amanda Lawson with the putback. The GSU falls 81-73. The Georgia Southern men looking to close out their 5-game homestand in style against Arkansas State. Trent Wiedemann starts things off with the fadeaway. Next, Jake Alsmiller left alone, and he buries the 3. And check out the spin move from Angel Matias. Eagles by 2. Arkansas State right back, though. No whom, Bokum, the hoop and the foul. The Eagles respond. Curtis Diamond, the hoop and the foul. One of 4 Eagles in double figures. One of the others, no surprise, Jelani Hewitt. 2 of his 15 later. Eric Ferguson left alone, buries the 3-pointer. And then it's Alsmiller time. Another 3, Eagles by 5. Matias then to Wiedemann, 2 of his 14 in the game. The Eagles grab a 4-point halftime lead. Moving to the second half, Georgia Southern trying to pull away. Mike Hughes to Ferguson on the inbounds. Wiedemann then finds a cutting Ferguson for 2 more. Arkansas State hanging around. C.J. Foster will hit the 3-pointer from the corner, but the Eagles in control. Diamond for 3. Eagles by 10, then Hewitt on the break will throw down the one-hander. Finally, it's Eric Ferguson off the alley-oop pass from Hughes. GSU wins easily, 65-60.
With more than 100 years of experience under one roof, Complete Car Care on 207 Northside Drive can do it all for your car or truck, gas or diesel, even hybrids, motors, tune-ups, front end, air conditioning, transmissions, electrical. Complete Car Care does it all. When others say no, Complete Car Care says yes. Come see what Michael and his team can do for you at Complete Car Care, 207 Northside Drive.
Up next for the basketball team on the road Saturday at Arkansas Little Rock. Well, Mike, a couple weeks ago, you had a chance to go out there and take a look at the Evenings with the All-Stars where Dale Murphy was on hand. We also had a chance to interview him. Let's get out, first of all, before we preview the first game of the season for the Eagles, and got a chance to talk with Dale Murphy, who was in town speaking with the Eagles.
It is great to be back, and as I've shared with a couple people, I was actually here about 40 years ago, driving up to South Carolina from spring training. I was stopped in Statesboro because my roommate had some friends who playing for Georgia Southern back then, so I was here at the field, and that was a long time ago, but I know the history and tradition of what a great program this is, and so I'm really thankful to be back. Look forward to the banquet tonight for sure. These banquets, when you get these old timers up, we just start telling old stories, and hard to keep us quiet. But I think, mostly I'm thankful to be here, and thankful to be a program here at Georgia Southern, and I think, like I said, have fun playing the game, because you get to be my age, you wish you could go out there and put on a uniform. So it's a fun time of your life. You enjoy it.
College baseball come a long way since you played up at BYU.
Yeah, well, the game, there's every sport goes through some evolution here and there, and there's so many similarities, but a lot of things are different. I think the kids are, I just shook hands with all the Georgia Southern kids, and they're bigger and stronger than we, ever were. They've played more baseball. Their skills are a lot better at this age, but yeah, generally, I mean, it's the same. I think one of the differences I think about now as I look at some of the young pitchers, in the big leagues right now. I think they throw a lot harder now than they did when I played. So I think it is a little bit tougher now, but it's a great game, and I think that's one of the things is fun to do, is to kind of see the look at the history of the game, and you can still compare players from one era to the next, except for the one era that we had a little problem with steroids and things. But I think we got that turned around mostly.
You got the Braves getting ready to break ground and get in there pretty quick. Right now, it's a little frustrating for Braves fans because the team seems to be gutted a bit as they're getting ready for that. Your thoughts on what's going on with the Braves?
Yeah, I think I think really, if you watch things closely, you probably sense that this was going to happen. So what I say to Braves fans is, baseball is a unique sport. You got to remember 1991, worst to first. I think they're going to be competitive, and things can happen. Things could go well, and they could be more competitive than you would expect, even this year. But the thing about baseball is it's a great sport in that I don't think it takes very long sometimes to go through transitions. And I think other sports it's a lot tougher. But baseball, wild card team won the World Series last year. You get into the playoffs. You got a chance to succeed a lot quicker when you're going through these transitions in baseball. So don't get too frustrated. It'll turn around.
Well, Dale Murphy, a great ambassador for the game. I know you had a chance to have him play for your team, Philadelphia. Most people remember him for playing for the Braves, and most of us that grew up thought a lot about Dale Murphy, and having had a chance to meet him, I think I could speak for you as well. What a great guy.
Great guy.
That's right. Well, let's get right to another great guy, Rodney Hennon, Georgia Southern baseball opening up the season. Mike, your thoughts on as the Eagles open up with Bethune, what are you going to be looking for?
Well, Georgia Southern never shies away from competition. Jumping into the deep end of the pool right away, a chilly pool it's going to be. But Bethune-Cookman, they're a perennial power in their conference. Last year, going down to Miami, making a little bit of noise in the Coral Gables Regional. but they know they're going to be in for a tough challenge, a familiar challenge too, with Coach Beverland. Spent some time here at Georgia Southern, now heading up Bethune-Cookman. But this is going to be a chance for the Eagles to see where they shape up. They've got a lot of holes from last year gone at just about every position or every spot of the game. You've got some holes in the lineup. You've got some holes in the field. Most importantly, on the mound, you've got those two guns in Wersu. Howard no longer there to bolster the weekend rotation. We will see the return of one familiar face, Evan Challenger, a great season 2 years ago, missed all of 2014 with Tommy John surgery, but Coach Hennon said that he's been back, looking good in the fall, looking strong on the hill. He'll get the ball for opening night, and we'll see what he's got.
Here's what Rodney Hennon had to say about taking on his former assistant coach and Bethune-Cookman.
It's good to have some experience back, especially I think when you look at the middle of our order. Chase Griffin, 4-year starter behind the plate for us, has been through the battles and, gotten some big hits and played in some big games throughout his career. He gives us some outstanding leadership. Aaron Mizell, who joined our program last year and had a big year for us and sparked us another good leader in our program. Cody Adams, who led off most of the season last year. Ryan Cleveland, coming off a very good freshman year where he got a lot of at bats and had an opportunity to play in some big games. Well, Jason and I are close friends. We go back a long ways, having been teammates together at Western Carolina. And then, he was, coached with me for 2 years as my pitching coach, did an outstanding job. And, he's done a great job there at Bethune-Cookman. And again, talk about another program with a lot of strong baseball tradition, year in and year out. You're going to see them in the NCAA tournament, and Jason has continued to build upon that tradition down there, and certainly it'll be fun, to compete against his team, and I know they'll come in well prepared. We'll see the preseason MEAC Pitcher of the Year on Friday night, and from what I understand, very, very good stuff, and a guy that's, obviously battle tested in their program, pitched some big games for them last year. They're always going to run some good arms out there against you, and over the years they've always been very athletic. Some guys in the lineup that traditionally run well and can make some things happen. So it'll be a great challenge for us right out of the gate.
And that'll wrap things up. For Mike Anthony, I'm Josh Aubrey. Thanks for joining us. Hope to see you again next week.